This video we're exploring hay as a mulch for growing particularly vegetables, and we're going to go over and see what Penny is doing. She's been working with hay as a mulch for a few growing seasons now, and then at the end I'm going to come back and kind of round off with 3 key points that I've learned over the years of using hay as a mulch.
So to hay mulch or not to hay mulch? I've been using straw for years, but then straw, you can't really find it organically. So it's sprayed with glyphosate, which is carcinogenic. So I don't want that in my garden. So I've moved to hay. Hay has more health benefits for the soil because hay has more proteins in it. If you think what hay is used for, it's to feed horses over winter months and animals, so it's got some goodness in it. I use hay for mulching and to keep the moisture, to lock it in the ground. Sometimes had a bit of bad luck with hay, it can give you seeds, but to make weeds, but then weeds are going to come anyway. So over here, I didn't have time to go and get the last bit of hay, and so this bed was weed free 2 weeks ago, and then look at that, there's a creeping buttercup. So that has come because there's no mulch. And if we go underneath the mulch, there isn't any weeds. Well, not yet. So there is pros and cons. I mean, I generally use the hay mulch for long-standing veg. So when I mean long-standing veg, I'm thinking about the vegetables that are going to be in the ground for over winter or for like 7 months. Say I planted the garlic in October and it's going to be there until end of June, beginning of July, and I really need to mulch that. I need to keep the moisture in and I need to keep the weeds off, even though the weeds have been getting away from me. And if we look underneath the hay, we've just got this lovely, lovely soil, because when the hay breaks down, it's feeding microbiology, so it's creating organic matter. So I've used hay when I clear garden beds, and I give a really good top hay mulch, and then it keeps the moisture in, and then when I pull back the hay, there's lots of worms because it's feeding the microbiology. Another use of hay, I have launched into flower growing, and I mulched my dahlias with hay. So this year, last winter, I cut the dahlias back and I gave them a good 2 foot of hay, and then I covered with a black plastic. And when I uncovered them, I didn't have loads and loads of weeds. There's the usual weeds that you get in the garden, which in a no-dig way, you just keep hoeing your weeds anyway and not having the weeding. So if you're on top of your weeds, you're just tickling the soil and uprooting the roots. But then here, there you go. I have creeping buttercup anyway, and there you go. It's made its way in. But from having a really good mulch, it's really easy to pull up a weed. I'm not struggling and fighting, it's just come up really easy. So that's the other benefit of using a hay. I am holding a slug here that I need to get rid of. When you weed, it's just really easy because it's just actually growing in the hay. So I find that's a really good benefit. But I feel like it's breaking down organic matter, and then it's keeping the moisture in. That's the main uses of hay. It's really important to mulch, whether it's hay or straw. Using wood chip is a good mulch, but you just got to be mindful not to get wood chip into planting holes, because otherwise you're going to get a nutrient lock up and your plants are going to look unhealthy. But I think wood chip is really good. Wood chip also harbours slugs, but so does hay, and hey, slugs are part of the world and we've got to live with them. Experiment this year, I've noticed on my west facing side of my polytunnel, the soil gets really caked. It gets really, really hot, and then it really dries out. And when soil dries out, you get all sorts of problems. It's really easy to get ants and spider mites and whatnot. So I've decided to give it a go and do a hay mulch in my polytunnel just to help with keeping the moisture in and not drying out my soil. I might regret this. I might end up having lots of weeds, but I don't have lots of weeds all over my other garden beds from using this hay. I think one thing to think about if you're going to use hay is, where does it come from? My neighbours cut hay for their horses. They don't like last year's hay, and they like good quality hay. So it doesn't tend to have loads of seeds in, but it's going to have the odd seed weed. You know, professionally, if you were going to grow garlic, you'd have to have irrigation systems. And I can't do that all over the farm. So I really mulch with hay or straw. I prefer hay because straw also doesn't break down to the same. And yeah, I do get some grass weeds, but what I notice in sort of when we have those droughts, sort of like this year, it was March and April, the soil underneath the hay is still moist. Whereas if I didn't have that mulch on there, my garlic would be really small, and it's not. It's chunky and healthy because the soil is being fed, and we need to think about feeding the soil. A couple of weeks ago I harvested these beds. So I had my main crop potatoes, and I had my elephant garlic. So as soon as the crops were out, I top dressed with the mulch to keep the microbe population healthy and happy in the soil. And then I did a Phacelia green manure that's looking rather lush. I'll keep an eye on it, and when it grows up, just before that it's going to flower, I'll cut and drop that and then leave it as a mulch over the winter. And with this, I'm probably going to sow a few winter cabbages in here and net, and then anything else will have a green manure. Green manures that I recommend are Phacelia, buckwheat and tares, and try and avoid Italian ryegrass. We want a community, a rich, diverse community of microbes in the soil to help against pathogens and disease, and just to help create community in the soil, just as we need diversity of plants in our gardens and small holdings to help with pollinators, insects. And then just as we are connected to the plant kingdom, we're the human kingdom, but the soil has a biome, we have a biome, so it's also really beneficial to eat fermented foods. And basically it's all about microbes. It's microbes on the leaves of the plants, it's microbes in the soil, in the mulch, it's microbes in our guts when we eat fermented food. And basically we're like 10% human and 90% microbes, and it's the microbes that are running this show. So everyone loves growing potatoes, and growing good potatoes, they need to be earthed up so that then the plant produces more tubers. I've already earthed these up with compost, but then I'm running out of compost. So another way to do it is hay. So I just tuck them up with hay, and it's a really good mulch. I've also grown potatoes in hay and straw and had really, really good crops if it's damp enough. My favourite crop, caelets, all blowing in the wind. This bed has been mulched with hay for years. It's had garlic in it, and it's had brassicas, and then it's got brassicas again. But my soil from hay, that's no added compost. That's hay being broken down over the years. And look at the till. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it just goes down and down and down and down. And it's just like hay breaks down and feeds the soil, and you just get this beautiful, beautiful soil from it. And you know, this bed's been mulched with hay probably for the last 3 years, and I haven't had, touch wood, loads and loads of weeds. Let's talk about onions. So guess what? I mulched my onions with hay or straw. A friend of mine's onions have just bolted, and I feel really sad for my friend, but they weren't mulched. And so the soil really, really dries out, and then it starts raining, and then, you know, the time for an onion to go to seed is around now. So if they're not keeping watered and they're not mulched, then the plants get stressed and the plants will go to seed. Happy onions don't bolt, but they've got their hay mulch going on, and we'll probably, I think I looked at the forecast, and the forecast is after around the 18th of June, we're going to go banging into a heat wave again. So as much as we can, we want to lock that moisture in the ground, and we can lock it in with a good mulch.
There's three main considerations that I would put forward with working with hay as a mulch. And the first thing is, as Penny had mentioned, the worry about weeds. And obviously there are going to be, depending on where you source your hay from, or if you're getting grass clippings and drying that, there might be or will be weed seeds in. Now, it's not going to be a problem when you're using hay as a mulch. It is going to be a problem when you remove the hay and then you expose the bare ground, and that is where the weeds then want to grow through. So there's two ways of approaching it. One way is to use a permanent hay mulch bed system like this. The other way is, when you then remove the hay, you could then hoe it a couple of times just to allow the weeds to come through, to have that flush, to kind of clear a lot of the weed seed bank and then plant into it. But really, you could also additionally look at other mulches as well. Now, the other consideration is the fact that definitely using hay can create a slug habitat, but there's a couple of really important points that I want to make clear. The first point is that almost any mulch that you can use can create a slug habitat, be it grass clippings, even like using wood chips, but also sometimes things work really strangely, and we've done whole fields before. We've put down hay and then we've grown squash in them and we haven't had a single bit of slug issue. One of the key things that you need to understand though about hay is that it creates underneath the perfect conditions of cool temperature, moisture and that carbon for ground beetles to dwell, and for the ground beetles larvae. And ground beetles are a ferocious predator when it comes to slugs. So what we're doing here, this is going to be where we're going to grow a big patch of winter squash, and it's going to break down, and we're going to use the natural habitat for the ground beetles to help with managing the slug population, and potentially keep this as a pretty much a permanently hay mulched area for the years to come, and just build that long-term habitat. Now, if you want to build some confidence in using hay and dried grass in your garden as a way of mulching, the area to go is perennials. So here we've got some trees that we've planted, and we've got this dried grass, and I can place this around the base just to help stop any weeds coming through. It's going to break down and add fertility. So anywhere where you have like fruit trees, young trees, saplings, as well as soft fruit, currants, these kind of things, which don't have any issues when it comes to slugs, and it doesn't matter because you can just keep on piling up more to kind of hide and choke out any weeds. That's a really good place to start using hay in your garden to help you grow. Here in the polytunnel, the easiest thing that we can do to reduce the amount of water that evaporates is to provide a hay mulch. And because we're always going to be growing things like tomatoes every year, I don't worry about the weeds. Yes, the hay will just let it break down. Next year, when it comes to planting again, you just put down more mulch, whatever that may be. So it's just a very simple thing that we can do to add, to create that fertility, to activate the whole soil food web, to break down this organic material into organic matter that then is going to help us grow nice, healthy crops.